we are living in the age of crises. We are living at a time when the whole modern project is in jeopardy. We are destroying the environment. We have the problems of global warming. The destruction of the forests is releasing pandemics.
Yeah.
We have a financial structure which is insane. We have extreme poverty in the world. We have the huge migration of people because of poverty. We have states in the West which are breaking up into opposing factions, like in America, where politics is becoming completely problematic.
Yeah.
We are living at a time of the great crises. And most important of all, we're living at the time when the whole moral rectitude of the human being is being undermined. I always like to finish with this, what I consider to be the greatest crime of modernity, which is the destruction of childhood. We're living at a time when children are literally being prepared to become little consumers, where their childhood is being robbed from them, where they are being confused so much about who they are and what their identity is. And this process of the destruction of childhood is the greatest crime that humanity can actually be accused of. I call it the dialysis of the imagination. Childhood, that first 7 years, the child is more with his maker than he is with us. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We come from him. We come from him. We return. And the children have just arrived. And they arrive and the barakah is so glorious that the mother, for 40 days, people just bring things to her. She doesn't move. That baby is sacred. It's so full of barakah. And then during that first 7 years, in Islam, the baby, the child is there to play. You don't force it to play. You let them play. What are they doing? They're playing with their mates, with the other children, with their brothers and cousins and friends and the rest of it. And they have these epic games where 1 minute they're crying, the next minute they're laughing. They go through the business of being a child, a little one, and then they grow up until they're the leader. And some of them follow, some of them are leaders, and they're all playing these epic games which we human beings, we grown-ups, have no part of. We can't enter into their imaginations, because what they have is pure spirit and they have senses. And through those senses, they can experience everything. They can turn a piece of wood into a wonderful sword. They can become a prince or, anything you can imagine. This is childhood. And then when they get to the age of 7 or 8, they go through a major transformation where suddenly the two sides start appearing. The age of discernment takes place. And they start knowing. Up until that time, they are unitive. A child, this childhood, they are at one. They're in the moment. There's no future, there's no past. They're present. And then they start in that discernment. And it's at that point, traditionally, you teach them. And then when they get to 13 or 14, you get the next great change, which is the moment when they become your friend. It's the time when they become apprentice to an adult. And through that process, when they go through the most dramatic process of turning from a child into a grown person, mature person, their whole ambition is to become an adult, to be like their uncle, or to be a soldier, or to be a craftsman, or to be whatever it may be. But they want to become that. What have we done? We've created our own consumer idea of childhood. The grown-ups have created their idea of childhood. They've created all these toys, like these plastic toys, which make funny noise, all these funny noises and things. And the child comes and it looks at it and it becomes absolutely mesmerized by it. And then it gets bored. It wants another one. And you have to replace it because it's complete. There's nothing to do with it. It doesn't come out of the imagination of the child. It is what I call the dialysis of the imagination. It is an external imagination that is controlling them. And then they get bored if you don't have something. And now they have this mobile phones, they have these screens which are forever engaging them, destroying their own imaginations. So they become caught into this world of continuous stimulation from outside. When they come then to and they don't create, the parents are, this helicopter parents thing, they're always supervising them, over them. They can't go out. They can't create their own world. So when they get to the age of 14, 12, 14, when they get to that big stage where they're ready to go into the adulthood, the journey into adulthood, then they make their rebellion and they try to create their own society. And you get the Great Rebellion. So this is the thing. So whenever I'm asked, when I've been giving a talk or anything, what should you do? Reclaim childhood.